No lost balls, raw golf, triple bogey, sim life talk, come and ride with the homies. Big shots, hot takes, we do it for y'all. Welcome to the pod. No lost.
Well, this week in Simulator Golf, welcome to episode 2, everybody. This week in Simulator Golf, we're going to talk about TGL Season 2 is out. Golfzon is the official sim of the US Open, and there's a bigger announcement from Golfzon. We'll go through full swing. They've added the real money games, and we'll talk about the sim market and how it's exploding, a little twist on what we talked about last week. So if you own a sim or you want one, this is the week to care about.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's just jump right into it. Season 2 of the TGL is out. We've got the match breakdowns. We can talk about, the renovation. Supposedly they fixed the screen. If you've been paying attention to the TGL, RRaw, how is that over in the UK?
So the TGL in the UK is a slow burner. It's something that I would say probably will pick up in the next year or two, but it's funny timings. It's not very sort of advertised. It's a slow burner in the UK, and it's starting to pick up. I mean, you see a lot of people talking about it now, but it's one of them things that just hasn't quite caught on in the UK yet, I'd say.
Yeah, so we've got Season 2 starts December 28th on ABC. Last year, it was LA that took down the title. We've got those 6 teams. It is kind of like simulator golf on steroids, and it brings a lot of, I think, positive things to the sim golf world and kind of brings a bunch of questions, I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but does it feel more like an esport, or does it feel more like, golf with highlight filters? I mean, what are some of the things you enjoy about it? What do you think about the TGL? Give me your thoughts on that.
So firstly, I think it's awesome. I think that it's the idea of technology that we have at home, or that we have in simulator centers on a massive scale, is a fantastic thing. It's the concept of sim golf, like you said, on steroids. It's just pumped up. You've got incredible players playing it. On top of that, you've got screens, not like we have at our house or our sim centers, enormous screens and heavy tech with movable greens and stuff like that. That stuff is, in my opinion, all-round sport. And I don't think you class it as an e-sport. I think it is just a straight-up sport.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it last year. I think my favorite part was just the team aspect, and I liked the mic'd up part of it. It took a while for me to kind of get in the groove, but I found myself recording every episode and watching it back. And I think the best part was when we got into our areas where I'm back in the Discords and I'm with the guys and we're talking about things, how did the TGL go? The biggest talk in our Discord and amongst the community members was, can you believe the technology malfunctioned? Can you believe it didn't even have the right numbers? Tiger hit that shot, it flew the green, that kind of thing. And I feel like if they're going to do it, hopefully what they've done is improved the ball detection and tracking systems. Because if you have a home simulator, that's one of the biggest things we all talk about. How accurate is it? How easy is it to use? And watching the TGL, and they amped the whole thing up, I thought, man, they fell short last year on their sim tracking technology. So I guess if there's one thing this year, I feel like their tracers got to get better, and they got to put the data on the screen. That's my other take, is we got to see the data on the screen. 100%. I want to see the ball speed. I want to see the spin. I want to see the launch angle. All the stuff that the sim nerds see. That's who's watching this, right? So that's the kind of the thing I would like to see with TGL, is put more of the data up for us.
But also, you want to see, these are high level players. You want to see what their data looks like. You want to see, a lot of people want to see how they compare to one of these big golfers. Is their data similar to what we're getting on our sims? I mean, it won't be, but you want to know that, and you want to know how close you are to playing a shot like them. I think it's important that they show that data. If it's there to do it, they should definitely be doing it. 100%.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about the TGL is, to me, this is sort of the big boom for indoor golf tech and simulators. It's almost like a little bit of a gateway drug for the people who don't currently do indoor golf. You're seeing a mix of the 50-yard shots that are, from off the green That's playing realistic, which a lot of people will criticize Sims for. The putting doesn't feel right, the chipping doesn't feel right. But in the TGL, the putting and chipping is real. They've got that big green that moves and raises, and then the full shots, they've got quite a run. I forget how long it is, but the flight distance on the big shots is pretty great. And I hope they improved their screen this year, which I think they said they did. So I don't know if you saw the screen last year or you had any thoughts on that, but I think my overlay on my live streams is better than their big screen they talk about.
Well, I mean, to be fair, mate, I don't think that many people are getting a better overlay than you, to be honest, mate. I mean, you're the tech guy, man, right?
That's right. They've got to hire Triple Bogey Golf to be a part of their production, I think. So
yeah, shout out TGL to make sure they come and hit up Ben for some advice.
I know all about making it for the viewer's pleasure. I'll tell you that, man. So, well, if we look at it, if you aren't familiar with TGL, let me just pop some of this up here. We do have, and I'm just going to throw it over the top of our faces. We'll try to make this full screen. We'll clip this for later. But just like last season, the schedule's going to kick off on December 28th. It runs through the end of March. It's a 6-man team event where basically they whittle it down to 4 teams, and then it goes into a playoff. You've got Team Woods, Team McElroy, Team Thomas, Morikawa, Fowler, and Clark. The team that won it last year was LA, and if we scroll up to the LA team, I think they're up here. It is, no, that's not it. The team that won it last year was, if I go to the teams, it was LA. I know it was. I just want to get who's on. Oh, here it is. It was these guys, right? It was Atlanta. I think Atlanta won it last year, not LA, Atlanta. Anyways, Atlanta, like look at these teams. If we look at Atlanta, we've got Horschel, Glover, Thomas, and Cantlay. I think one of the issues with this team for me is where's the entertainment? Horschel a little bit. I guess Horschel's got it. Horschel's probably the entertainment on this team. This team's like, I think great. You've got at least Rory. Keegan's got a personality. So does Matsuyama, but he doesn't really speak the English. And then you've got Tiger Woods, Homa. This is a great team because everybody just gets to hate on Kisner. Did you see Kisner last year in this event? Yeah,
the thing is, just sorry, mate, about that is that, do you know one thing I do think they could do better in the TGL?
What's that?
And that is, it's like a new sport, right? It's coming as a new type of sport. It's not just, right? It's a new type of golf. I think they should get different players in. I think there should be tryouts for amateur golfers to be able to make it onto a TGL team. Like, I just think that you could start a whole new leg of golf, a whole new side to golf. You see these guys play all year. Well, we get an opportunity to see some new stars come through. That'd be quite cool.
It would be pretty cool. Imagine
the difference in entertainment with some guy that slices the ball every now and then,
For sure, yeah.
The Royal Golfer shout anytime, it's all good.
For them, what I noticed last year, here's another team. We got the last 2 teams. You got Morikawa, you got Theegala, Rose, and Fleetwood. I think a great personality squad there. I think they were helped by like Theegala being on what's the show? The Full Swing show. I think that's just got great. He got great coverage there. This team's great. You've got some interesting characters with Cam Young, Fowler. Schauffele's pretty fun. And then you've got Minwoo Lee, Clark, and Lowry. Lowry's obviously a lot of energy. The one club to me that is just kind of like, I don't know, a little more flatlined is probably, if it's New York for the entertainment-wise, they're all kind of quiet. But what I noticed amongst that last year was it's like, this is television. It's more akin to streaming. It's more akin to YouTube golf. It's more akin to like entertaining. And now you've got golfers who are normally like, it's quiet. I'm focused. I'm hitting my shots. I don't celebrate. Tiger always celebrated. But now you have golfers that need to like perform. They need to entertain. And I think that was kind of the most awkward part of it last year was they started to find their groove with that. And I think Kisner hitting shanks helped it last year. But it's going to be entertaining. It'll be interesting to see where it goes.
It does make it more entertaining. I think that standard golf has its boring side. We have to all be a bit honest about that. That some golf can become boring. And because of the people that are playing the golf, they're worried to celebrate over the top. They're worried to make a bit of a fool of themselves. But actually, That's what people want to see. They want to see some entertainment. You know, footballers make, you know, soccer, you call it in America, we call it football. Footballers, they'll slide along their knees and they'll dance because they've scored a goal. You know, they'll celebrate. You know, that's what almost brings in the passion in the sport. It's the celebration and the fun aspect of it as well. And I think they've got a chance to do that here.
Yeah, I totally do too. I do love your idea, and it would be cool, just like we saw last week when we talked about with Gavin McPherson qualifying through the sim into a tour event down in New South Wales. That was kind of a big story last week. We had a sim golfer go into the tour side, direct qualifier, like a Monday qualifier through your simulator. Being that this is so sim based, how cool would it be? And selfishly, since we're in the sim, to have some sort of, you know, fan interaction from maybe the sponsored sim company or maybe the sponsored technology company. Like, let's say, I think it's Golfzone. I forget who's actually sponsoring the tech in this.
I think it is Golfzone, isn't it?
It's either that or Top Tracer. But if you were to have somebody, maybe an indoor sim company, let's just make one up. Let's just say a Foresight or a TrackMan were to say, like, look, we want to be not a title sponsor, but a sub-sponsor of the tech. And we're going to run a promotion and we're going to qualify one sim golfer to make an appearance on each of the teams during a week or on one of the weeks or a head-to-head type thing, and get people excited about buying that sim brand or playing that sim software and having a chance to, hey, I could end up in SoFi Stadium on the TGL. You know, I just think that would be a way cooler look, a way like more fan interactive idea. But maybe I'm just viewing this from a sim guy's perspective.
Just imagine though, I played the round of my life 2 weeks ago. Imagine it. I played the round of my life, and then you see RRaw Golf teeing up on TGL and then get absolutely wiped the floor with. But it'd be great. I mean, it'd be so much fun. But
it absolutely would.
Do
you have a favorite team this year? You going with anybody? Are you going to watch every episode, or is it something that you're just kind
of? I'm taking this year as my first year to really get into it. I want to get into it hard this year because, like I said, last year you didn't see it anywhere in the UK. It was like a breakout sport that didn't really come out in the UK. And like everything, the UK follows the US in almost everything we do. So, you know, I have no doubt that it will be just as big this year in England as it was in America last year.
Well, I would argue that if the defending champs, this would be my team again, but I don't think they should be allowed to be. I think there should be a rating on performance and excitement and non-boring. This is the most boring team in the TGL right now. Aside from Billy Horschel, who has some of the greatest one takes of all time in golf, you got Lucas Glover, can't lay. Thomas is getting better. He's on camera more and more. And Horschel, but they blew everybody away last year. I think they probably will again this year. We will have to see. Everybody on that team seems to be pretty measured. They got pretty stable, outside of golf lives, and they're all just kind of boring, is my take. I would love to see somebody like a Rory or a Keegan's team or a Tigers team get in there, or even Morikawa and Thigala, those kind of guys. I'd love to see those guys get into to win it this year, but I do think Atlanta will win it.
You want to see like a real life Happy Gilmore person just come in and just wild. That's what you need.
We need a wild. We need a RRaw Golf in there. Just ripping shots from them.
Oh, that'd be so much fun, isn't it? T-shirt comes off, you hit a big shot, just go crazy. Live for it.
100%. Well, that kind of brings us into the next thing. The next thing we were going to talk about today was Golfzone. Golfzone, we talked about it last week. The Golfzone had the big partnership with the USGA, and they also came out with their GDR Max launch monitor. So that is their new launch monitor tech that they've come out with. I think they announced it on the 13th. I might be off on this a touch, but from what I can tell, it was on the 13th. Golfzone GDR Max. Their marketing says most advanced comprehensive sim to date, state of the art. Golfzone, if you don't know, they are huge. They have Golfzone bars. They've got the tilting floor systems inside of those bars. They had at the PGA show last year the Golfzone championships, where they gave $100,000 away to the winning Golfzone team, and those teams come out of the Golfzone bars. So to see Golfzone partnering with the USGA, what they're saying is they're going to have these these simulator setups for fan experiences at the PGA events next year. So I think that's a pretty cool concept. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on that. We talked a little bit about that last year, but like we're getting a sim brand to be part of the major championships now.
Yeah, I think that it's about time. I think that now we've seen as content creators, we see what is the explosion of sim golf across social media. And I'm sure the people watching, they see the explosion of on social media of sim golfers and sim golf content. It's becoming so popular. And I just think that as it gets into more and more people's houses and it gets into more and more people's garages, etc., that the call for it to join forces with the big championships and brands is important, because it's the time to start targeting the people that are at these events and start getting them in, people in front of them, because it's a huge market and it's only going to get bigger.
100%. And if we look at this thing, the PGA or the USGA did just put out their announcement, and let's see if I can get it pulled up here. Their announcement on this, and basically what they said was, they're going to do, and this is, I think, the biggest part of this, they're going to do on-site integration of fan experiences with hospitality. Guests will be able to test their skills while earning prizes on indoor golf simulators at the U.S. Men's and Women's Open. They're also going to provide support for the Golfzon Tour, which is their big tour that they run at the PGA show. That's where they give out their prizes. And that goes into major cities across the countries, competing against real time against the network play function. So the grand championship match will face off for a $300,000 grand prize. It'll be a co-branded event with the USGA Tour. So there is going to be this big USGA partnership. It's not just a small thing with Golfzon, and they expect that fans will be able to go to the national championships and be a part of these in the hospitality tents. And I just think, this is really what's going to grow simulator golf throughout the PGA sport and at the actual events with this kind of participation and attention. So I think it's very, very cool. Golfzon, it says on here as well, 13,000 locations worldwide, 100 million shots taken on the Golfzon simulators last year. They're big over in Asia. And so what a cool thing. I think it's going to be an awesome value add for fans.
I didn't realize they had my shot data. That sounds like the amount of shots I have in here a year. So
they're not counting raws. They'd have double.
Yeah. It's a great thing, mate. I think, like I said, go back to my last point about the explosion of sim golf. These major championships have got to start taking note of that, and that is what you're seeing. And it's just a shame we haven't got like Pro TVX or Square or Foresight, doing, I say following suit, but getting opportunities. I think they need to.
I think, and then my big question to you, Rob, would be: Does this kind of legitimize indoor golf? We're seeing it show up at these events. I mean, there's so much, I would say, from the outdoor. I had a friend of mine. I said, "Hey, you ever play GS Pro? It's indoor golf." And he said, "I don't play indoor golf." And this guy's a really good player. I don't play indoor golf. I'm like, So I do think there is probably a feeling for those who play real golf, but with the USGA and the PGA taking this on, is this what legitimizes it for us?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know how to put it really, but it just puts another view in people's faces of the fact that sim golf isn't just a gimmick. And we have these questions on our lives. We both get these questions a lot, which is, do you play real golf? Of course, you play real golf, right? But it can be likened to like gaming. That you do only this. You get in your sim and you hit some shots, and then that's the only thing you do. You never actually go out on course. But for most people, and I say the vast majority of people, this is an add-on. It's another way of playing more golf. Like you see myself and Triple Bogey streaming at nighttime, in the middle of the night when you can't play golf. We're just supplementing the love for the sport. So, yeah, I mean, legitimizing, I suppose.
I suppose it is. Yeah. Well, that's cool. And I think it probably, my big thing is, it's going to be interesting to see what this does when you have other companies like TrackMan, Full Swing, Foresight, Rapsodo, Garmin, Are they going to chase other major championship venues? Are they going to try to get their technology into this mix? I mean, there is a battle out there for what software is best. It's live right now in this world, and the devices are tailored to one software unless you're on GS Pro. So I think it'll be interesting to see what the other launch monitor companies do as these partnerships start to form with USGA.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. And I can see it coming. Yeah.
So speaking of Full Swing and some of the other companies that are out there, my next thing that I thought was really actually pretty cool is Full Swing, which I got to be honest, I have never been like huge on necessarily their software side of things. And their rear performance unit that I had tried, this is the one that Tiger Woods sort of sponsored. I didn't have a huge love for, but let me pop this article up here. And I think this is really cool news. This makes interesting. A lot of people ask, and let me pop this up. Do you ever play for money on the sim? And what's interesting is Full Swing is now coming out with a AI-powered skill-based gaming platform where there will be a competition that allows users to enter. They can pay an entry fee and win money. So they're not going to be competing against pros or amateurs in a typical closest to the pin. They're going to be competing against themselves and an algorithm-derived expected outcome. So this is basically betting on yourself. To favor more consistent players, Skill Strike instantly rewards the players based on their great shots. So this is interesting. This is a way to encourage the full global Sims community to engage in a skill-based gaming platform. And you can do it at home or at the comfort of a facility. And it's going to be interesting. You can wage $3 a shot, scale up to $20 per shot. And every challenge is going to be a chance to outperform your personal baseline. And you can get wind up to 8 times the challenge fee. So you're betting on yourself. So I don't know what you think of this, but this to me is like kind of cool. I think for people who have the gambling mindset, you're going to see some cool content around this. You're going to see some golf gambling addicts really look at the Full Swing as an option if this is the only place they can get it. What are your thoughts on Full Swing bringing gambling into the gaming experience of the market?
So I'm not a gambler. I'm not a big fan of gambling. It's never been something that I've done or enjoyed, but I can see where it has its it's a risk thing. So I suppose you gamble because it's risk, right? You're usually gambling on someone else's performance or the outcome that someone else is going to give you, not your own outcome, because then it becomes skill based. And if you're doing skill based, then is it as much gambling as it is proving your skill? I don't know, because I don't see it as directly betting. It's just difficult. I'm just not a fan of people putting money down or wagering or doing betting. It's just not my thing. But I can see how it would have a lot of people doing it. And if you're a very good golfer, potentially it's a great way to turn over some money, really, because if you know and you're confident in your shots.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see. Is this like a casino game where it knows your limit and gives you, a circle like this? I can hit that, ding, win, and then all of a sudden it prompts me for this, 8x your money, miss, lose,
100.
reload.
I can't get into gambling because I always see it as the house always wins, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's not. I wouldn't say it's my thing, but I can see why it'd be popular.
It's interesting. And then, like, if you're just betting against yourself, then, how does that actually work? Is it I'm just winning the money that you've lost, missing your, being overconfident? We've all gone to like those scramble tournaments where the fundraising effort is $20 and you bet 20, you can win 40 if you hit the green. And then we all put the 20 in and we miss the green. We're like, yeah, come on, man. So, and then there's guys that win that, but majority of people miss it. And so
Yeah.
it's interesting. Is this just going to be a rake for them? It says it adjusts the thing based on your handicap. It's like, well, that means it could adjust to make sure I miss it. It can know, like, on my 1,000 shots, I miss a 10-foot circle 99% of the time. And then it could learn that, hey, every time we give Ben a 10-foot circle, he presses go. And it could just learn where the vig's at and just absolutely take me. So
Of course. I mean,
it's
that's what it's going to be designed to do. It's going to be designed to make you lose, right? That's what, all betting is in the favor of the person creating the bet, as in the company putting the bet out there and allowing you to create it. It's always in their favor. But it just seems odd. I mean, look, I always worry about things like addiction. You're going to get, there is an opportunity for someone there to be at home using a system like that and just piling money into it, waiting for that one shot that gets it back. And that always worries me. But then, that's, I suppose, a mindset of someone that doesn't do gambling. So maybe other people can see that differently. I don't know. It just seems odd.
Maybe I'm having fun losing all my money gambling on this, Maybe I'm enjoying it, okay?
Yeah, you enjoy losing your money. I'm just gonna not.
This is what their little clip is on it, and we'll show some of it. I do gotta probably modify it, but it says play to win. You won $18. It's got concentric circles. So you're gonna be hitting, bam, big win. You won $20. It's going to be interesting, man. I think Chubsy's going to be in there. Ubsy's going to be in there. Did we say gambling and golf? They're probably selling their launch monitors right now and going to get a full swing product, because this news is just too incredible to handle. And it actually looks like it syncs all up on your phone, so you can plan out your next gamble right there from your couch. You can go, God darn it. If I just go out to the sim and hit balls for an hour, we'll be rich.
and then you've lost half the money because you're having a bad day.
And then you're gonna have a guy, somewhere in the world that's just gonna set up a robot in his sim. Clink.
Cool.
Clink.
How do you control that? Yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna shake up the world of this. But people have been asking for a long time. Do you play for money, or have you played sim golf for money? There is other platforms out there right now. I think E6 has a close to the pin thing that I forget what it's called. Somebody in the chat probably remembers. But there is currently a close to the pin game, I believe, where you can play for money every week on one of the platforms already.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Casino in your home sim now.
I mean, betting against each other, I think it's probably a little bit better.
I think we'll all start inviting our friends over a lot more. No, I was kidding. Too bad the money goes to full swing though, so that won't work.
Yeah.
Well, it's part of the sim market boom. We said at the beginning we would talk a little bit about that. And it is crazy. We talked about the growth charts of sim golf last year. Popping up in my town right now, we've got a back nine just popped up in our town, a swing 365. We have an indoor golf bar. I just talked to somebody yesterday who's building an indoor golf warehouse with a full size, like, putting green in the middle, simulators all around the outside. And they're going to use it it's 2 teaching pros in town. They're going to use it for teaching kids, doing driver fitting sessions, and they'll rent it out for parties, events, and different things like that. So this absolutely feels like it's just booming. The appetite for golf is high, and the time and effort commitment the land cost to build it, it really feels like it's giving people a different taste of golf. You see those, like, little putt places, like the Tiger Woods putt bars and things. I just think it's absolutely crazy. The stats that it shows is that the market's going to go from 1.9 billion, and it's going to double in the next 3 years to over 3.9 billion, which is absolutely crazy. Do you think that you can see yourself, will this take golf where there'll be less of it in the home and we'll just become members to these clubs like we are fitness? Or do you think it'll just be kind of part of it? What do you think of this whole thing, the boom of the outdoor or the rented sims and all that, the sim room stuff?
But there's one thing that I can see, and I would be lying if I wasn't already thinking about something myself, because it's growing in the UK faster than I think I've seen any sport grow, or any centres open, and they're opening at a serious rate of knots. I mean, I think that I would say that is probably generous. Well, I say generous. It's probably a little bit of a lower estimate at 3.9 billion. I think that sim golf is just taking off. It's getting more accessible. Obviously, the home sims are now getting cheaper. The setups are getting cheaper. I don't see it becoming just a center-driven thing. I think that people love convenience and they love to have something in their own home. I just think that with climates changing and people, some people can't afford these golf. I mean, some golf courses, you're talking tens of thousands of pounds or dollars to join them clubs, and people can't afford that. They can invest a couple of, £5,000-6,000 and build a really, really good sim, and they're sorted for a long time. And I do think it will be a huge boom and potentially cause some issue to some of the golf courses.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And to touch on what you're saying there, if we look at this article here, which is what we were looking at before we started the pod, is like golf simulators, owning a golf simulator, it's more accessible than it's ever been. We're talking about putting a sim in for $1,000 and you can go all the way up to $60,000. And in both cases, you can play sim golf and have an absolute great time. It's just becoming so affordable with things like Square and others entering the market. You can get anything from a mat, like a hitting mat like this, to a full out sim studio like yours and mine. And I think probably what I predict to see would be a mix. You're going to see both. You're going to see people having these in their home, and you're going to also see, because home spaces are small, you're going to see people having a lot of fun going to these community centers and maybe bringing 5-6 guys and renting a bay out, having a beer, watching a sport game, because a lot of our home builds don't necessarily have room for all the buddies or enough couches or enough space, right? And also the loudness of it is a thing. So I think these 24-hour key punch card places, I think a lot of us have probably talked to our buddies about it. Hey, I'm going to put up a sim place. Hey, I'm going to build out a studio for people to rent and make a business out of this. I've had that idea and that thought. I've not been a first mover and early access kind of guy. And by the time I've thought of it or thought about moving on it, we've got Back 9, we've got the Swing 365, we've got another one popping up in town here. And it's sort of inevitable. It's the new like movie theater. It's the new bowling alley. It's the new putt-putt. There's a big interaction piece with this simulator golf, bringing kind of the gaming to the real life sim world, especially in the colder climates.
Yeah, and like with these sim centers and stuff, and it's a really good point. So I've got an old friend of mine who's come over for the whole weekend this weekend to spend time with me, and also to jump in the sim tonight on the live and be on the sim all weekend, because we have an opportunity to play golf together in the middle of, it is now like, in the minus degrees here. It's freezing. We don't want to be on the golf course this weekend, but we can come in here and we can play a whole load of courses all weekend. We can have a few beers. We can, pretty much do what we like in this building, have fun, and play golf. So how is that not just a massive pull for anyone that is thinking about it? Is that social side of it? I'm looking at running a like a village open for the people that play golf in my village, and I can do all that from my house. So it's a huge pull for most people, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty incredible, and I'm excited for it, because it seems like the more people we can get entered into this market, the more people we have in the Discord, the more people we have taking part in our streams and the content side of things for guys like us. But the more fun part is, it's just like there's more guys able to play together at night in the sims at home. It seems like if you have a sim, you set up a streaming system. Next thing you know, you have a camera and a mic set up in your room because you're playing with people across the world. And so for me, it's like, this is exciting. I'll probably even get to play more golf with my brother, who's just across town, because he'll be able to afford to put a sim in his place, and a friend who's in Denver, and another one who's in Texas, and a guy like you in the UK. We all play golf together now. I can't do that even if I do go outside. So that's what's great for me.
That for me is right up there with one of the best things about this. It is the playing golf with people all over the world and just having the greatest time in here, where that is not possible. Like me, and for a start, like me and you would never have met. We would never have even started this podcast. We would never have started connecting on social media. It's just amazing. It really is.
Well, that'll bring us into the last thing. We got Black Friday. I will be having some Black Friday video coming out here to show you guys some stuff to buy and add a few of my own links, which kind of serves me a little bit. It helps fund the channel if you guys use some links. So I'll try to find you guys some of the best deals and put out some videos on it. Some of my friends like Friendly Golfer already put out a great Black Friday video. You can check out things like that. But there is Black Friday, the affordability stuff, the big sales are right now. You built a sim, RRaw. What would you say people should focus on if they're just getting started to build their sim? What was for me? My secret was a hitting mat, but I don't know where you would go. What do you think is sort of where do you prioritize your build if you look back? Maybe not what did you do, but what would you do if you're building again?
I mean, I think you've hit the nail on the head. So take away the fact of you need the simulator, you need the screen, right? Forget that. The hitting mat is so important, and I actually did cheap out on that a little bit at the start, the first build. And the second build, when I went back and I spent the money on the mat, it makes such a difference, such a huge difference to your golf and the realism of the shots and everything. But honestly, the hitting mat, and then I would spend the money on the hardware of the computer. If you're going to use a PC to run GS Pro, spend the money there. Because honestly, that and a projector, but you can get away with a projector of any sort of decency, but a PC will really help you play the better rounds and have a more fluid game. And when you start to get freezing and it just starts jittering along, it can be quite frustrating.
100%. And if this Black Friday, if you're just building a sim, my take would be take a look at hitting strips, hitting mats. To me, they're the most important as a guy that has back issues, elbow issues, wrist issues. This is a great time for me. I really need to do the same thing. Shop Indoor Golf or the Indoor Golf Shop. It's shopindoorgolf.com, but it is the Indoor Golf Shop. It's confusing. They've got 20% off on hitting strips right now. It's a great deal on the Sig Pro Softy hitting strips. And if you're looking at getting one, contact me. I can get you a link. We'll see what we can do as far as getting you maybe an additional discount. They've also got things like, let's go through a few of them real quick. 20% off all hitting strips. That's the Sig Pro Softy, my favorite one. They've got $1,200 off the Mevo Plus, $650 off the Face Package, $400 off the Pro Package add-on. So that's going to, really drop the price of the Mevo Plus if you're looking for what I would call a good outdoor unit. It is an indoor unit as well. The Sig Pro Softy or the Sig Pro Golf nets are also all 20% off right now, which is a great deal if you're looking for retractable screens. 20% off. You're seeing a lot of 20% off stuff. I think one of the biggest sales that's running right now is Unicore. Unicore is 30% off the IXO2, the IXO, the IXR, the iMini, the iMini Lite, the Swing Optics package. They're basically 30% off across the board. And then they've got their new unit on Amazon, which is the Core, the iMini Core. And you can get that for $1,000 on Amazon. Foresight running their Black Friday deals, $3,000 off a GC Quad. Pro T is $500 off. And free swing cameras if you buy a full package. But again, there's a lot of stuff. Go look at the Black Friday stuff. What I would focus on, what you're seeing is 20% off on hitting strips and enclosures. So it's a good time to get those screens as well. And then if you're interested in the Unicore products, they've got some great deals that you won't see again probably until the next Black Friday special or their midsummer event that they sometimes do.
They actually sound like huge deals as well. That sort of money off 30% is crazy. It's crazy. I might just find myself another one.
I definitely need to look at it and get myself a new hitting strip. So that's where I'll be looking at for this Black Friday.
I might get one in advance for needing one soon.
To close this one out, because we got a hard stop today at 2:00. I'm gonna go with a few just quick questions here. Kind of came up with these before the pod. Most overrated sim feature everyone obsesses over. What are your thoughts on that? What's the most overrated sim feature, RRaw? Put you on the spot. I didn't ask him these before the pod.
The most overrated sim feature.
For me, that everyone obsesses over, I think the thing that people obsess over a lot, or they think about a lot, or they worry about a lot, it's probably your impact screen. I don't know that I've been able to tell the difference. I've seen about every different kind. You've got yours on Temu. I got the premium one. I think durability matters, but really just get the right size or fit. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't have a good answer to that. I feel pretty stumped. But the one thing I've like thought the least about that I took a lot of time researching has been my screen. It's been fine. I don't know if I could go. You have a budget one, don't you?
Yeah, I have a budget one. It's absolutely amazing as well.
Yeah.
It's like it's a mil thicker than the ones on the expensive websites. But I would say it's my Spotlight.
Oh man, Spotlight's a good one. I got a Spotlight. I feel like everybody who gets a Spotlight, that's your overrated that you don't need or you do need.
No, I think you need it, but it's not an important part. Well, I don't think you need it. You don't need it at all. But
No.
it's the most asked question that doesn't really have any relevance to the actual performance of the sim.
It has none. No. And actually, if I was gonna put the poll out there, do you like a spotlight or a pin light with like a diffused light? I originally got the spotlight. I gotta say I'm a big fan of those pin lights where it's not so focused. But in my opinion, you should just
Okay,
you should just get overhead projection and then get a really cool overlay on the floor.
You go watch your video on YouTube and then we'll all be fine.
You could. How about this? What's the most underrated that nobody like budgets for, but you actually need to take care of in your sim build?
I'd probably say cable ties.
Cable ties underrated. So cable management. I'm gonna go with PC. I think PC doesn't get. I think the PC doesn't get enough focus, and people oftentimes think they can get by with their prior one. And right now, I'm limping on an old one. I think the PC is probably underrated. Like we kind of think we know we need one, but a good one makes a big difference.
I think it's a weird one for me, but I've never had anyone ask me about what I use to tie the screen back with, and heavy duty cable ties are for the win.
I'm backtracking a touch because I've told people the most underrated thing is the hitting strip, is the impact strip. To me, it is the most like if it's underrated, like it's the most important thing to me. It's the one thing I think it should be the best piece of it should be the best quality thing in your sim should be your hitting strip. If you have like 4K projector and you're hitting off the concrete floor, you're crazy.
You can't have the same thing for both. You can't have the same answer for both. You can't.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this might be it. One totally unrealistic wish. I don't know what that would be. These last couple questions I don't think really apply. One hot take. One thing I would say about the TGL though is I would say, wouldn't it be cool if they would just run GS Pro or something like that? Something we all play.
Yeah, so much better. But can I ask you one question, Ben, before you go?
Let's do it.
What is your favorite thing about streaming your golf?
My favorite thing about streaming my golf. There's my favorite thing is I genuinely enjoy it. Like I enjoy it. I enjoy the questions, the feeling of like helping somebody when they ask a question and we go to the desk. I used to do it like question of the night. Someone would ask something, I would stop the stream. I would go put on the display like how to actually fix that problem or solve that thing. But it's just interacting with the people and enjoying it, having fun, seeing the chat take off, and then having that moment where you're like, they don't even know I'm here. Last night I was playing and I was on Bootlegger's Lair and I had made like 5 birdies in a row to start the round, right? I was silent most of it, trying to break a course record. There wasn't any like nice shots in the chat or anything. It was almost as if nobody was even watching me rattle off 5 in a row because they were in the chat talking about taking like their goldfish for a walk or, something like that, right? And it's just cool to see the chat explode and people come in and really enjoy each other's presence. Sometimes the stream feels more like I've opened a bar and everybody's saddled up around the bar. And yes, there's events going on and there's a bartender and, the name of the bar brought you there maybe. But you're all talking about your lives, where you're going to go, what you're going to do, maybe making a joke at me. That's what I like about it. I mean, I really, truly just enjoy it. So if you want to give an answer to that, you certainly can. But otherwise, that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm very similar, mate. I love the community. I love the people that I've got to meet along the way. I genuinely love the crazy support and the interaction from every single person that comes in and out the chat and talks. It literally fills me with so much joy. We spoke about this earlier. That's why I mentioned it. Me and you had this conversation earlier. It's it fills me with so much happiness to be able to talk to so many people, like you said, help people, and just meet some genuinely great people.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. Well, thanks, Raw. That's episode 2. We're going to end it with that. I had a lot of fun, and thanks everybody who's in the chat. We are going to do a better job, and then in future episodes, we're going to make these a little bit longer, and we're going to go to the chat and ask you guys questions. So don't feel like you're here for nothing. We will get to you next time. We'll put out the VODs and the fresh video with the clean audio and the clean display shortly. I'll try to get those out by tomorrow, and we'll have this up on YouTube, and we'll have it up on TikTok. So thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Cheers, guys.
No lost balls, raw golf, triple bogey, sim life talk, come and ride with the homies. Big shots, hot takes, we do it for y'all. Welcome to the pod. No lost.